Hello everybody and welcome to another A+ 1102 exam where I'm going to do the usual thing and tell you everything you need to know about all of this. We're looking at exam objective 2.3 today, and at the end I'm going to give you a variety of practice questions that will give you an idea of how ready you are to tackle the kind of questions that you might actually get on your real exam. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get straight into it, starting with malware. We're going to have a look at these different types of malware. For your exam, you really just need to know what are these different types of malware. So you need to be able to have a look at a description of a type of malware and be able to say, okay, that's a Trojan, that's a rootkit, that's a virus, etc. So I'm going to give you the tools you need to be able to do that today. If you stick with me, you'll be all right. Let's get straight to it. So look, malware essentially, we're starting from scratch here, refers to malicious software. So it's some kind of software that has a malicious intent. It might want to steal your data. It might want to destroy your documents. It might want to encrypt your documents and charge you a fee to unencrypt them so that you can then have access to those documents, right? So they can want to do a wide variety of things, but it's essentially software that is malicious, hence malicious software, hence malware. So the different types that you need to know about for your exam are as follows. The first one is a Trojan. So that is essentially any piece of software that is disguised as legitimate software. So it looks like something that you want to download. It's a program that it seems like it will be genuinely good for you, but when you do download it, it can steal your data, install other malware, or disrupt system operation. So basically, you can think of Trojan as a broad category type of malware. So a Trojan is just malware that looks like a program that would be useful. It looks like a good program, but when you download it, it is in fact malware. So it has tricked you. So it could be that a Trojan is a rootkit, or a Trojan is a virus, or a Trojan is spyware, right? So once you download a program that looks good, it turns out you've actually downloaded spyware, or you've actually downloaded ransomware, you see. So Trojan is like the broad category, and within that, it could really be any of these. So hopefully that makes sense. Trojan is just describing the fact that it looks like a good program, but when you download it, it actually is malware. The next one you need to know about is a rootkit. So a rootkit is essentially a type of malware that it does a couple of things. The first thing it does is it actually takes active steps to hide itself from your system, so it can be very difficult to detect. The second thing it does is it grants attackers administrative control over a computer system. So they're operating on your computer system with the highest level of control that they can possibly operate with, which obviously allows them to pretty much do anything they want on your system. So that's clearly a very, very dangerous type of malware. So that will allow them to hide their presence on your device. It's going to be very difficult to detect them and steal sensitive information, or really do whatever it is that they want to do. And again, just remember the key things about a rootkit are it takes active attempts to hide itself from the system, and it grants attackers administrative privileges, the highest level of privileges you can possibly have. Those are the key things to know for that. The second one is a virus, or the next one that you need to know about is a virus. So it is self-replicating code that attaches itself to other programs or files. It can damage files, it can corrupt data, and it can spread to other devices. So think of it like a flu, right? If you go into a room with someone else who has the flu, you're going to catch the flu. Once you catch the flu, maybe you're just sneezing a little bit. Maybe you're completely out of action. Maybe it's so bad that it kills you, right? So a virus is spreading across a system and can potentially spread to other systems as well. And it has the potential to damage files, corrupt data, and spread to other devices. The next thing you need to know about is spyware. So spyware, it's kind of in the name, it's like a spy, right? So it is secretly monitoring user activity, stealing data like passwords, browsing history, or keystrokes. So just know spyware is spying on you. It's not necessarily actively looking to see, it's not actively interacting with your system necessarily. It's just having a look to see what are you doing, and it's generally going to be sending that information out to someone else who is observing that data so that they can do whatever they want with it. The next one is ransomware. So this is where it encrypts a victim's files. So you have a file and it actually encrypts that file so you do not have access to that file, and it demands a ransom payment to regain access. So basically you're holding that file ransom, and if you want to get access to that, if you want me to unencrypt that and give you access, you're going to need to pay me money. Keylogger. So, a subsect of spyware, really. It records every keystroke typed on a device. It captures your passwords and other sensitive information. So, anything you type, it will capture. A boot sector virus is particularly nasty. It infects the master boot record of a hard drive, preventing the system from booting up properly. So, it is actually prior to the operating system booting up. It's in the boot sector, so that can be very difficult to actually get rid of. And then we have crypto miners, which is where once the malware is on your system, it will use your computer's resources to mine cryptocurrency for the attacker's benefit. So it's mining cryptocurrency. You're probably going to see very high CPU usage from your device if you have a crypto miner, because it's very resource intensive to do crypto mining. Now, the tools and methods are the next thing we need to know about. There's a couple of specific ones you do need to know about for your exam. The first one is recovery mode or safe mode. So this is essentially a special boot mode that only loads essential system files, allowing you to troubleshoot and potentially remove malware that might hinder its removal in normal mode. So you're only booting up the things that are necessary on your system, and that will allow you to potentially remove malware that you might not be able to do once you've booted up everything. The next thing you need to know about is really antivirus software and anti-malware software. I'll put these both in the same one. So basically, antivirus software is something that scans your system for malware, threats, and then it can quarantine or remove them, and offers real-time protection against new threats. But you do require up-to-date definition. So you do need to update it with the most recent definitions of malware so that it knows what it's looking for. And then, the exam objectives specifically state you need to know about this separately, anti-malware software. So it's similar to antivirus software, but may specialize in detecting and removing specific types of malware that traditional antivirus might miss. So it's basically like antivirus software, but like specifically targeted towards malware. So hopefully that makes sense. So long as you roughly know like the idea of antivirus and anti-malware, you'll be fine. Software firewalls, we should know what a firewall is by now. So a software firewall monitors incoming and outgoing network traffic, acting as a barrier against malware attempting to connect to the internet and send your data. So look, two more we need to know about. Again, very similar. Anti-phishing training is basically where you're teaching people about how to avoid phishing attempts. So, you'll tell people, hey, when you get an email with a link, don't click it. Please don't click it. That's anti-phishing training, right? So you're teaching people not to get tricked into revealing their information or clicking on malicious links. And then user education regarding common threats. You're teaching them about the common types of malware, their methods, and how to identify them, right? So that they can potentially avoid getting malware in the first place. Now, the final one you need to know about is OS reinstallation. So this is where you're basically reinstalling your operating system. You're doing a clean wipe and you're reinstalling everything from scratch. This should essentially be saved for last case resort because it is quite inconvenient to have to do it. You should only do this after you've tried everything else first. For your exam, just keep that in mind. If you've got a bunch of options to choose from, make sure OS reinstallation is only something you're doing if you've already done everything else. It's not going to be your first line of defense. It's only in a severe case where previous attempts to remove malware have proved to be particularly difficult. So make sure you back everything up before you do it, of course, but just you're reinstalling the operating system and it's a last line of defense, essentially. Now, let's have a look at some questions. The first question reads, which type of malware disguises itself as a legitimate program to trick users into installing it, often delivering a malicious payload once executed? A, a Trojan, B, a rootkit, C, a virus, or D, spyware? Your answer coming in 3, 2, 1. Pause the video if you need more time. Now, it is a Trojan. Remember, a Trojan, it's like a Trojan horse. So it's disguising itself as legitimate software, but once you download it, it's actually malware. The next question reads, you're helping a friend troubleshoot their computer. Lately, their system has been sluggish and experiencing random crashes. You suspect a malware infection. While scanning the system, you discover a particularly nasty piece of software, a rootkit. A rootkit is particularly dangerous because it, A, can steal personal information like passwords and credit card details. B, replicates itself and infects other files on the system. C, gains privileged access and hides its presence on the system. Or D, displays annoying pop-up ads and disrupts user experience. Pause the video if you need more time. Your answer coming in 3, 2, 1. Now, it is C. So a rootkit gains privileged access and hides its presence on the system, right? We talked about that. It's operating with administrative privileges, and it's actually actively hiding itself on the system, so it can be very difficult to detect. The next question reads, you arrive at a user's desk and see a giant red warning message on their screen. The message claims all their files are encrypted and demands a ransom payment to regain access. Is this A, ransomware, B, keylogger, C, boot sector virus, or D, crypto miner? Pause the video if you need more time. Your answer coming in 3, 2, 1, now. Your answer is A, ransomware. So ransomware requires a payment to receive those unencrypted files. You can potentially get around this by backing up your data. So if someone encrypts your files, but you have a backup of it, you can say like, no worries, you can have it. I just got a backup, so all good, bro. Don't even sweat it. You have fun with that file that you don't even need. Next question reads, in order to deal with a current malware infestation, Bradley III has decided to utilize a tool which only loads essential system files in order to troubleshoot effectively. Which term best describes this? A software firewall, B, antivirus software, C, recovery mode, D, anti-malware software. Your answer coming in 3, 2, 1, now. C, recovery mode. So again, just remember, we talked about what recovery mode is. Hopefully we got that one right. Pause to read that if you need more information. Final question I'm going to do for this one. Which of the following should be reserved for severe malware cases? A, user education regarding common threats, B, anti-phishing training, C, OS reinstallation, or D, safe mode. Your answer coming in 3, 2, 1, now. It is OS reinstallation. Remember to save that only for severe circumstances. Now look, if you have enjoyed this video, head over to journeytocyber.com where you can get my A+ 1102 learning guide. So in this learning guide, I break the entire exam down by exam objective and then even further down by every dot point within every exam objective. So for each dot point within each exam objective, I give you comprehensive notes, I give you active recall questions and practice exam questions. And then once you've done that, you can head over to the online quiz database, which will give you a simulated exam experience where you can take those same questions, but they're randomized, so they're not in specific order right after you cover the content, so it's a bit harder, and give you an idea of what it will be like to take the actual exam with super detailed explanations, just like you've seen in this video if you pause to read any of them. That being said, here's what people said about my last learning guide. So for this learning guide, this was my 1101 learning guide. For my 1102 learning guide, I took this and I put it on steroids. So this is what they're saying about my last one, and my current one for this exam is way better. They said, your learning guide is actually goated. I don't comment a lot, but it helps with organized information and helps me piece things together more easily. Thank you so much. Update, your notes helped me pass my test today. Thank you. I downloaded your learning guide already, and I can see it will help immensely with studying. I tried other popular resources, wink wink, but struggled absorbing the material. Will you have one available for the 1102? Go over there at journeytocyber.com right now. So head over there and grab it. You will be as happy as this guy if you do decide to get that. If not, all good. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for choosing me to take you through your 1102 journey, and I'll see you in the next one.